Hey everybody, it's Mike here from The Art of Guitar. I started to do a test for this video today, and it's about wrapping cables, and I noticed that it was really hard to see the cable because I'm wearing a dark shirt. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know, I was just about to start recording, so I decided to run to Target really quick and buy the first white t-shirt I could find, and I ended up getting this. So don't laugh. So I will be wearing strawberry shortcake for this video. Okay, I think that's going to be better. Yeah, that's way better. So sometimes it takes me a long time to learn a lesson, and it's kind of funny because ever since I was a young musician, I remember real professional musicians wrapping cables in different ways. And, you know, I was taught the incorrect way right away. So when the first time I saw the over-under technique, it was my singer for my country band that I was in at the time. And he tried to explain it to me, and I couldn't get what he was saying because he didn't explain it the best. And so I just thought it was just nonsense. And so after he teaches me, he hands me a guitar cable and he tells me to wrap it just like he told me. And then he's like, now open it up and see how it comes undone. And I did, and there was like 1,000 knots in it. So I did not do it correctly, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to my old way, you know, the elbow version. That's how I've done it ever since the beginning. And then I would have guitar students come in, and some of them were starting up college. Some of them went to music college, music production college. And a lot of them were like, you know what? Our first day, all we do is we learn how to wrap a cable correctly. And I was just kind of blown away by that. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Okay. I thought maybe it was a scam or something. Like that's how they're going to waste their time or something. The first day, all we're going to do is wrap a cable. I'm like, you could probably learn that in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? But I had them demonstrate it for me. And once again, they did the over-under technique. And I was still baffled by it. I'm like, okay, whatever works for you guys. I know it doesn't work for me. I've already proven it. I've tried it once, so it doesn't work. Another reason why I insisted on doing it my way is because it's fast. Here's what I'm talking about. If I have a cable here and I just want to wrap it really fast, I'll just grab it and I'll start going over my hand, under my elbow, real fast, just like this. It feels really, you know, easy to do. It makes sense. And I've seen a lot of people on stages doing this. So they would just do that. And then they were done with it like that. And they would wrap it up somehow and toss it in the bag. Seemed quick, easy, no nonsense. So there came a night where my friend, one of my best friends actually, he's a sound engineer. He also runs live sound and he has his own recording studio. And by the way, he taught at a music college for a long time. So he's the perfect candidate to corner and try to really find out the truth about this. So I was like, you know what, Christopher? I want to settle something once and for all. He's like, okay. He looked kind of worried. I went in the other room and I grabbed a cable and I'm like, I want to see what this whole, you know, over-under wrapping thing is all about. And he laughed and he rolled his eyes. He's like, oh, not this again, you know, because he's used to having people challenge him on it. And I'm like, you know what? The way I do it with the elbow wrapping method, I think is superior because it's faster. It seems fine. You know, at the end, it's done the job. But he's like, okay, go ahead and wrap it the way you do it. So I did what I already showed you. Over and under, over and under. I keep hitting the microphone, sorry. Just like this. I thought, I'm really going to show him all that college nonsense. And then I tied it. I think at the time I actually tied it like this. I did the knot technique or whatever. And I was like, check it out. He's like, that is a mess. Give me that thing. I was a little embarrassed because he was right. It didn't look the best. It kind of looked, you know, spaghetti junction there. So then he took it and he did the over-under version of it. Now, unfortunately, this very cable has been wrapped wrong for so many years that it's pretty much done for. It's really hard to undo all the mistakes you made. So I'm gonna grab a different cable and do the over-under technique and show you. So here's another cable. This one has not been trained incorrectly, so it'll be easier to show you. So he took the cable and he tossed it across the room first. And then he did this. So he's pretty much just taking out all of the kinks, any knots that are in it right now, and then he threw it back across the floor like that. Now he began to teach me just like my country singer did years ago, but the way he taught it made a lot more sense. And this is the most crucial part right off the bat. He's like, right away when I hold the cable, by the way, I'm trying to remember exactly what he did. Everybody has their own technique, but this is what I've been practicing ever since he taught me. You start it off, and right away you could kind of tell what direction it wants to go. That was my biggest problem. I was just forcing it to go, you know, whatever direction I wanted. He's like, you can really feel a cable the way it wants to go naturally. That was the key word, naturally. So I just sort of played with it, and it wanted to do this. This isn't going to be a detailed lesson, by the way. I'm going to do that on the main website, and I'm also going to do a whole bunch of things that I take for granted, like how to put a guitar with a strap on over your head so you don't get tangled. A whole bunch of things like that, little tips and tricks. We're going to start that part of the website very soon. Okay, so this feels like it naturally wants to go this direction, like that. So that's going to be over. Now, the way my friend Chris does the under is he grabs it like this and he pulls it up. And I don't do it that way. I just found that if I take it and I flip it a certain way, I could feel the way it's going to go, and it naturally sits in really nice. This is going to be way easier when I show you the from my point of view. Okay, so right away, the cable naturally wants to go this direction. So I go over, I reach down, I'm able to like roll it. It's just a weird feeling I get. And that's going to go under. The next one, I kind of feel the direction as I roll it. Wants to go that way. From now on, we just go back and forth, over, under, over, under. So that's over. Sometimes you would do this to straighten it out. I do my roll under, over, under. And on the last one, you could just take the tie. This is what I do now. I don't do the knot anymore because that's just going to ruin the benefits of doing this. So I just take that, Velcro over the top, like that. And this is what it looked like when he showed me. And it was proof positive to me that I completely was doing it wrong all these years. Now, some people might be like, you know what? This is a fabric cable, so it's easier to not get all messed up. That's why it looks so nice. So to prove it, I'm going to grab another cable that's just like the first one that it was all messed up, except this one is not trained in correctly, so I'll be able to show you too. But the best part of this is when you undo it, let's say you're at a show, you could take it, hold the part. This is where I was going wrong before. You got to hold the correct end, and then you could throw it, and it's totally straight. You can't really see it, but there's no knots. See? Straight, all the way to the very end. So when I learned that, and I learned how to feel it correctly, that was the biggest thing. Okay, let me take a cable that's more like the very first cable. No fabric or anything like that, but it's been trained properly. Okay, so I'm going to throw it out. First thing you want to do is pull with your hand cupped like this just to get rid of any weird kinks. You don't want this kind of stuff. So you want to get rid of all that. Otherwise, you get to the end and sometimes there's like a knot and that wrecks everything. So toss it out once it's all good. I like to hold it with one hand like that. Take the other hand and you do the dance. You see which way it naturally wants to go. So this is going to be the under version of it. So let's just go like that to start off. All right. See how it's nicely lined up like that. Bam, bam. Take the cable and we're going to do the over version of it because we just alternate. So I take it and I twist it. Watch what happens when you twist a cable. It moves all around. So you can coerce it, I guess, to follow the path that you want it to go. You're not forcing it. I shouldn't say that. It'll naturally do it once it's trained correctly. But okay, then you take it and you could twist it again to do the backwards 6. See that? And now we end up with the under. Now, people get confused about why it's called under sometimes. Look at the way it's sitting under itself, because they started off the loop here. This is the end of the loop. It's underneath it like that. And that puts it in a certain order when it comes to going across as well. So that's going to help when you undo it later. Curl it so it goes over. Do the old karate chop to even it up every once in a while. We're going to twist it. Backwards 6. Under. Over. Backwards 6 under. And then the final over. I got pretty fortunate that time. And I would say that's a decent job. It's pretty even. Looks nice. Nothing's like creating a figure 8 or looking like that, which my old way used to make happen. Okay, now if you want to undo it, this is cool. Grab this part right here. This will be the part with the Velcro or this weird tie for this one. And you can hold that And I just do this and I could throw it and it should not have any knots in it. It should not have any knots. That's what I was getting wrong before. So now if I pull it in, you're going to see that it's all good. Straight, 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 straight. Love it. And just obsessively practice it a million times like I did, and you'll have it down in no time. After I learned the correct way and I started to get it down a little bit, I thought, I'll still do my elbow technique, but only after a show when I have to hurry up and get off the stage. You don't want to be that person gently wrapping cables correctly while the other band's waiting to get on stage. I thought I was just going to go back to the elbow technique because, that's just going to be fast. When I get home, I'll fix it. But because of what I just talked about earlier, you can actually train your cables to be wrong. I don't even do that anymore. What I do is I just kind of bunch it up real loosely and I throw it in my bag. That way, when I come home, I just unbunch it and then I do the correct wrap. And you should see my cable rack now that I have in my main studio room. All the cables look perfectly circular, whereas before they were all in weird shapes, sticking out funny, and they were just, it's like a time bomb for them to go bad over time, just because you're putting stresses on the cable that aren't there when you do it the correct way. And the crazy thing is in the last 6 months, I haven't had any cables go bad on me. So far, so good. So hopefully it stays that way. So I want to thank my friend Christopher for finally changing my mind about this. I can be a little stubborn about things that I've done the same over all these years. And it's really cool to find a new way that actually works and adapting to that way and seeing the benefits of it. So I hate to end this video with a dad joke, but I guess that's a wrap, and we'll catch everyone at the next video. Tomorrow I might go see Derek Trucks live. I'm excited about it. I might do a concert review. Depends if I get in a fight with a bouncer or not. I'm just kidding. And then we have a lot of cool things coming up this month. We have Metallica. I'm going to be in the pit. It's going to be wild. And then a whole bunch of video ideas that I wanted to put out, but I was sick for the last 5 days. So I have a lot of these built up ideas that are going to be coming out in the next week, I would say. So, okay, everyone, thank you for watching, and we will catch you soon. Bye-bye.